दोस्तों, I built this 3D game for my smartphone, Android, iOS, and for the web in less than 10 minutes. But the truth is, right now, 99% of you watching do not know how to use AI properly. And at the same time, the 10x developers right now, if you look at the YC batch of 2025, 95% of the code written for the YC backed startups was written by AI. Platforms like CursorAI, Windsurf AI, which I use regularly. And today in this video, I'm going to show you how to properly build your vibe coding setup. What are the rules you need to follow? What are the prompt engineering techniques which I learned from the Google's AI courses? I'm going to show you right now and how effectively these works. And along with that, there are new technologies coming up such as MCP, which I'll share later in this video. This entire setup which will make you a 10x developer. But a quick disclaimer right now that whenever I talk to expert engineers, I asked them, what is the biggest trait you see in a good programmer?
I don't think that just using LLM, it's why they are using LLM. I think that really matters. So if you use LLM because you're insecure about your programming skills, then that's a problem. You use LLM because you're lazy, that's not a problem. That means you are finding a solution to do it.
A good programmer is using AI when they are lazy. But a bad programmer relies on AI heavily. So I am trying to put you in the first category with deep understanding, getting all the work done, which is boring, monotonous, but with understanding. Without any further ado, let me show you my AI framework. And this AI framework, which I have made for you, it'll make you a high agency person. What is the end goal? The end goal is that you're not waiting for your manager, your teacher, your professor, whoever you're working with, your teammates to give you work. You figure out the problem and solve it immediately. That is the idea of high agency person. If you're a high agency person, there has never been a better time to be alive. This used to be followed only by startups before, but even big tech companies, all companies want employees to be efficient, high agency, which are bringing up issues and solving it immediately. Now let's get started with step number 1 of vibe coding. Now, what is vibe coding? It all started with Andrej Karpathy, one of the ex-lead AI engineer of Tesla. He was the first one who said that in Tesla, you don't need LiDAR sensors. If our human eyes can drive with just our vision eyes, then why cars need a sensor? So that was a huge excellent debate. Now the point is, he introduced the term vibe coding, and he gives the idea, you can be as lazy as you want, and he doesn't want to manually enter the data, decrease the padding of the sidebar by half because I'm too lazy to find it. I accept always. I don't need to read the diffs anymore. When I get error messages, I just copy paste without any comments. So this vibe coding, laziest way of programming, is getting popular. Then why shouldn't you do it? You should do it if you have understanding. But I want to tell you that anything which is fast right now and not thorough, you always have these debate, fast versus thoroughness. Whatever that is fast right now and not thorough leads to a debt, and that it is called technical debt. If you write more and more code without understanding, it becomes a debt you have to pay later on. So make sure you minimize the debt. Once you have done a lot of vibe coding, understand as well. And because if later in this khichdi, if a bug happens, in this mess a bug happens, you will have to pay heavily, and it'll be really hard even for the AI or for you to figure out that bug. Okay, anyways, now for this vibe coding setup, number 1 application you need is Whisperflow. So that is my favorite app I use. So I'm going to show you, let's say Whisperflow is available for Windows and MacBook. So download for Mac OS, and once you install it, what you can do is with your microphone app. So I have set up Whisperflow and I have set up my F5 key. So whenever I hold the F5 key, it'll type whatever I say. So let's open CursorAI and let's open a project. Let's call it project 1. Okay. And I'm going to drag and drop this folder to Cursor's window. So I can drop, and Cursor is very clean UI, give access to desktop, and you will just see this sidebar with anything you want to type, it'll code for you. And it has 3 options here. So I'm going to zoom in. So Command I is agent flow, Command L is to ask, and number 3 is just edit. I just use agent and ask, and these two are my favorite flows. So let's say if I'm writing some code I don't understand, I use ask. If I want it to code for me agentically, I use agent. So now in this, if I want to code even in Hindi, I can do it because of this app. In English, Hindi, whatever. So if I hold this F5 key, I've set it for F5, create a readme file of a to-do list app. And now I said in English, it'll basically type whatever I said and I can hit enter. But the good thing is I can even code in Hindi, Spanish, whatever. मेरे लिए एक readme file create करके दे of a to-do list app. So I spoke half Hindi, half English. It just did the job. देखिए मेरे लिए Hindi. So I spoke something before, so I'll remove that and just type it, and it'll create a readme file in Hindi for me. It's just mind blowing. Let's see if it does in English or Hindi. This is vibe coding, laziest you can be. All right. Okay, so now it created the app. I will not even read what steps it followed. I can just hit the accept button and it'll code for me. So this is the idea. Super, super cool. And I'll go deeper into it later. But first of all, I want to show you the kind of AI applications and AI agentic flows you have right now, and you have to leverage it carefully and properly. So first of all, I'm going to show you the 3 kind of AI frameworks I follow. Number 1 is the standalone. One is Claude, OpenAI, Gemini, Grok AI, like number of standalone, like large language models you have right now. And those I call standalone models. Number 2 is integrated AI apps or features such as CursorAI, which I showed you, or such as even like docs.google.com. If I go to docs.new, I can type like hello world and like right click, and it has, if you pay for AI, it'll like, add some AI stuff to it. You can like write using AI in Google Docs. So that becomes an integrated solution. So that is paid, of course, on Google Docs, but on Apple Notes. So here I can use right click, writing tools, and proofread. This is an AI integrated solution. ChatGPT is integrated to my notes app. Now, these are the 2 kinds which are very popular. Number 3 is custom. You can train a model on your own. For example, doctors recently, let's say, need some MRI images, right? And they want to use AI by training hundreds of MRI images. They can train it. And for a new MRI image, they will figure out, oh, this has some abnormality. This is missing from that MRI image. So you can create a custom solution by training as well. But most of the coding industry uses now an integrated AI approach. Why? Because you are bringing AI to things you are already using. Now, Visual Studio Code is one of the most popular application. Now, CursorAI and Winds of AI, what they did was they just started with the application already built and added their features of AI into it. So brought AI to the applications that you use. So that was the idea of integrated application. You don't need to think of how AI will be brought to you. They thought of just bringing AI to you. So that is the idea now. That's why CursorAI became one of the fastest applications to reach $100 million revenue in less than a year. If you want to know what are the models like, so these foundational models, as per Peter Young, one of my favorite newsletter guy, I follow him. So he rated like Claude as the best model for writing and coding. It's like star. It has given star. Everyone in the industry has given it. But for general purpose, everyday answer, ChatGPT has a star. But other models are like average at everything, but Perplexity is best at search. So you need to use, if you have only $20 right now, and if you want to pay for something, I will say Claude. And that's why I want to teach you use foundational model properly as well. So I'm going to open Claude right now, and I'm going to show you something, one of the coolest thing I did. So my friend, he was asking me, ki let's plan a trip to China. I was like, I have never been to China. So what I did was, so I'm going to show you my prompting as well. So what I did was, he was like, let's go to China. I was like, I have never been to China. I went to Claude, plan best routes for me for my trip to Atlanta, Beijing, Chongqing, Hangzhou, Shenzhen. I don't know which city is closest. I don't know if I want to take international flight. Should I go to Beijing or Shanghai? I want to know the best optimal route so that I can, I don't want to like go north to south, south to north again. So, I want the most efficient route. So what I did was I gave it to Claude and like ask it to tell me, the best efficient way to go. Tell me the train prices, flight prices, and minimum cost. So all algorithms you can think of, I just gave it, and it gave me a beautiful website. So I can literally copy this web page. I have published it, copy link, and I can show you this website. So this website is so amazing. It tells me Atlanta to Beijing. I put it on a map, and then it tells me, oh, so the distance wise, Atlanta to Beijing is farthest. So of course I'll go by flight. And Beijing to Shanghai. So Beijing to Shanghai, it says 1750 distance. If I will go by train, it'll be 13 hours, 11 to 13 hours. And train price is $90, flight is 180. So I should go by flight. And then Chongqing to Shanghai, of course, by flight again. But Hangzhou to Shanghai to Hangzhou is pretty close. So I should take a train. So you figured out, right? This, if I have to use any trip planning app, it'll be so difficult, and it made it easier. Andre Karpati, again, ex-Tesla lead AI engineer, he said that he uses Claude to give, for example, like some data, test my Spanish and make a flashcard app. So it'll make a flashcard app for him, like a website where you can just test. So let's say I'll run it live for you. So this is building a website for me. And this is mind-blowing, and I can test it, fix it, and publish it, share with my friends. So it's going to, just with one line, it'll make it for me. So that's why you need to leverage it. For example, now, okay, so the website, with just one line, the website is ready. I can click on this website. It'll tell me the meaning Vihar is to travel. And then I can go to 20 words and every day practice 20 words with flashcards. Mind blowing. And you should use this as much as you can. Now, next, I'm going to show you in the workflow is that when you prompt, use this strategy by Greg Grockman, co-founder of OpenAI. He gave this, like a summary of how you should construct a prompt. But I'm going to tell you with example, if you want to construct a prompt, I use this strategy. Number one, I think of a goal. So let's say if I want to construct a prompt right now, I'll just write it for you. Let's say my goal is, tell me ideas of a video that will get 1 million plus views. So that is what my goal is. And I'll give example. Return format would be a list of 10 ideas. So number 1 and number 2 fulfill. Now, number 3 here is one shot versus two shot prompting. So one shot means I'll give it one example. Let's say meet CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman. So let's say this is one short example. Example 1, I give it. So this becomes one shot prompting because I gave one example. I'll remove one shot from it. So this is the prompt I'm constructing. If I'm constructing two shot prompt, I'll give it two example. Let's say I'll give another example like the man behind OpenAI, featuring Sam Altman. So let's say this is a podcast title, right? Videos, podcasts. So you can give two examples, but I follow this strictly. Two shot prompting with one prompt you must do, second one that you do not do. So the idea is tell it that make sure you give a prompt with something as an example. Number 2, as something it should never do, so it doesn't hallucinate. Let's say in CursorAI, when I type a prompt, I say make sure not to search the web. So that's why like it only uses its own like memory or training data to code. So when you use this prompt technique, like it's a simple prompt I wrote, like tell me video ideas which will get 1 million views. I can even say that use like clickbaity words with Apple keywords. Like Apple has very strong words. So you can just use this prompt anywhere. And now with that being said, I'm going to get started with Cursor. So CursorAI is the main app I use. I love it. And I'm going to show you the prompting step by step. First of all, we'll open Cursor. So this is a README we created. I'm going to remove this README. First of all, we will define a file called .cursorrules. So cursor rules is a file where you can tell the AI model what it should do and what it should not. This is a beautiful GitHub page I found by Patrick JS. He has in his awesome cursor rules repo defined rules. So for example, I am an iOS developer, right? In mobile development section, if you go to Swift UI, you can define here, you are an expert in coding with Swift UI, you always maintain the code, and by default, never search the web, and main folder is this. You can define, like this is a sample cursor rule. I can copy it and put it in my cursor rule. In my cursor rule file, I will tell that you are an expert programmer, do not use anything from the web until I ask you. And then other rules you can define. For example, in this kit, I'm going to pick up, since I'm going to make a React Native app, I'm going to go to React Native, Next.js, React Native, TypeScript. So CursorAI, this flow I will follow. And then I can tell it like what kind of styling structure to follow, what kind of naming. When you work in a big project, you have to tell what kind of case you follow, camel case or Pascal case. Like, in which camel case is like, for example, if I have to type variable like first name, this is camel case. Pascal case is F capital first name. So N capital, F capital. So, you can tell what terminologies to use. So for example, I'm going to copy it and paste it here, and naming convention, I will say follow, I'll write below it, follow Pascal case. So this could be a cool project we will build. Okay, so cursor rule set readme. Now, when you're coding, I'm going to tell you one of my another favorite framework, which I use in Cursor, is by Peter Young. So in Peter Young's approach, he says whenever you're building something, he built this 3D Star Wars game, which I'm going to build with you all as well. So he says that when you're building README, divide your task into smaller and smaller pieces. So for example, in this game, I'm going to take a screenshot. Since it is not copyable, I take a screenshot and go to my Notes app and double click, and then you can literally copy this. So you can copy it because Apple has it inbuilt optical character recognition. Now you can copy it and paste it in your text. So now you have 4 phases written. What you can do is, with all the things you have written, you can literally go Command I, it'll open the chatbot. Now I'm going to code in English. I can literally use my voice with the whisper flow I told you, but I'm going to type now. Execute phase 1. Enter. Now it'll build this app. Usually what I recommend everyone, all of my friends, is set up project structure. This is must for every project. And later you can build a hello world project. This phase 1 is nothing but a hello world kind of project for Star Wars game. So write and define a hello world project and as phase 1, so you can test it. If you will give all of these 4 phases in one step, it will not do a good job. So right now it is coding for me. And if you notice that I'm using YOLO mode. YOLO mode, I'll show you later. All the commands it's executing, for example, I did not have npm. I didn't have any of these packages. It is by itself executing for me. So I'll show you that later, why it is doing it. I don't even need to click on execute. I don't need to click on accept. It's accepting all the code by default, adding everywhere. It's just mind blowing. Let's just wait for 1 minute and watch. Okay, index.html is being created. Interesting. And there are 3 modes here: ask, and agentic, and edit flow. Usually most of people use agentic flow, Command I. Command L you can use for ask. Let's say you don't understand this code, you can do Command L and ask the AI. But I usually, when you vibe coding, you just use the agent flow. Let it do anything for you. But if you want to understand, you should always ask. Let me tell you, when I usually code, I usually use the agentic flow and make me walk through the steps. So if you notice, all of this code it's generating, it is giving you all the steps. In the end, once the code is generated, I ask the model, summarize the changes and break it down step by step so I can understand myself. If I don't understand it, remember what I told you, it will be a technical debt you will have to pay with shit ton of bugs. Okay, let's wait and watch. Okay, so it is still generating right now. Meantime, I'm going to show you why it is running all the commands for me. So I'm going to go to cursor settings and then cursor settings. And in cursor settings, I'm going to show you something called as features. And here there are YOLO. So enable YOLO mode. YOLO mode means that allow agent chat to run all the tools without asking for confirmation. That's what I've done. But here I want to remind you that there could be some prompt injection. So let's say that you ask it to pull some repository, and that repository has command like reboot your computer, shut down. So I have removed these command from the cursor palette by using command deny list. So you can like add commands here. So I'm going to tell you, like, I'm going to remove it and add for you. By default, you'll see something like this. You can say that do not restart, add, and like I have copied some more commands that I found from a video. So this guy, David Andre, gave commands that you should definitely not use in your YOLO mode. So definitely not allow. For example, removing a directory without your permission, maybe formatting your MacBook, formatting your computer. So, these all commands are important. So make sure you type it one by one. I wish I could just paste it. I have copied all of it. Add. No, it's not allowing me to add it. So I'll let you, put it all in your cursor settings. Make sure you do it. And then it'll continue running. So for example, here it is, I think it is asking me to input. Oh no, it's not. It's still running. It took 10 minutes, as I'm telling you. It's a big project. This game takes time. Okay, phase 1 is now complete. It gave me summary of my changes. And now let's click on accept all. No, accepted is done. Now I refresh. There's nothing on this page. So now I'm going to do execute phase 2. So this YOLO mode is like mind blowing. It does everything for me. I just need to sit and watch. And I love the YOLO mode because like if a project is really big, I remember I've coded a project which has 5,000 files. Just imagine 5,000 files, and it was changing like hundreds of them. So I can just set it up, go eat lunch, come back and see it being done. It's just magical feeling using CursorAI. So run these 4 phases. In the end, you will get this application. And Peter has given step-by-step demo as well. For example, in phase 3, you will see something like this. In phase 4, finally, you will see the game finally being ready. I can just type in my cursor chat, run the application for smartphone. Since it's React Native, I can say iOS and web. So it will use a library called Expo. So I'm going to bring my phone. So this is important. Expo is an amazing framework for React Native, which actually builds your app in your Expo Go app on your iPhone or Android. So there's a Expo Go app you can download on your smartphone, and it will give you this QR code right now. So see, it's asking me yes or no here. So the command it ran was npx expo start. So this command actually, if you see the output, Expo Go allows you to run it on Android, iOS simulator, web, wherever you want to, all 3 places. And you can scan this QR code on wherever you want to. It just ran on my simulator as well. So I can scan it, and now this app is running on my smartphone. So Expo is the library in Expo is a platform related to React Native, which you can use. And now this app wonderfully runs on my smartphone. I'm so impressed. Imagine, this used to be my kind of similar projects like these used to be my hackathon projects. And I can literally have a presentable hackathon project if it's related to some game within an hour. For smartphone, web, it's just mind-blowing feeling how simpler things are. Now with this project in your hand, like, you can add features, do something cool, present at your hackathon. And if you see the number of files it has, it's just mind-blowing. JavaScript, assets, Expo has a folder. It has like 5,000 files, like this Wing game. And it's just insane how it coded it in less than 10 minutes. Okay, one thing I want to tell you, that cursor is not perfect. Even though I told it follow Pascal case, it generated a code in camel case. Whatever it is, that's okay. But most of the things it does really well. Some of the rules, if you will give it, it'll follow, some not. And there are bugs of course in cursor. For example, not allow list cursor. There was a bug here. I'll search for it again. Allow list cursor. Some people on Reddit posted that cursor claims it doesn't do bug. So some people said that in YOLO it bypasses allow list. So be very careful while executing the YOLO mode. Sometimes it may, if there's a prompt injection, it may delete your files as well. So don't blindly trust it. So this is the idea of building this Death Star 3D space shooter app in less than 10 minutes for the web, for your phone, for any device you can imagine with CursorAI. Huge shout out to Peter Yang for teaching us, breaking down these steps. Now, next thing I'm going to show you, and it'll fascinate you, is MCP. So if you go to Cursor, so I'm going to go to Cursor settings again, Cursor settings, and then go to MCP. What is MCP? Which stands for Model Context Protocol. What is MCP? The idea is, if I click on the documentation, the idea is that Model Context Protocol is an open protocol that standardizes how applications provide context and tools to LLMs. So the idea is to bring agent flow of other application to your application.
This account has 0 active repositories. So let's just see if this works. Okay, call MCP tool, create a repository. And that should be it. Great, repository now created. I'm going to refresh the site. And just like that, our cursor agent created a brand new repository. This is insane, guys. This is the future of working.
So the idea is that these applications which are compatible with Cursor, like GitHub, Notion, they can be agentically connected to Cursor. So you can write a command that push my repo to GitHub. So rather than doing git push, git commit, git pull, git merge, you can just type a command and it'll do for you. Okay, so the idea is you will go to this Symmetry.ai app, you'll connect Cursor, put your personal access token from GitHub, generate the command and put it in your MCP server settings of Cursor. And then later you will be able to say, push this in one command, create a README and push it to GitHub. And in one command, it will create the README, set up this project as GitHub project and push it. 3 steps in 1 step. So MCP is going to be magical. There will be MCPs for browser agents. You have seen OpenAI's operator. You will have access to that, all of it in your CursorAI agent soon. There are so many browser agents already available right now, making things easier, converting 3 lines of commands into 1 command in CursorAI agent. So it's going to be a magical thing happening. So stay tuned. That's my CursorAI workflow. I hope it was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Try it by yourself. That's the only way to learn. And make sure do not increase the tech debt. Thank you so much for watching.